I've had the aquarium that's just behind me for over 6.5 years now, and honestly, in all of the time that I've had it, I don't think I've ever really been completely happy with it. But it has been getting better and better and better over the years, until it's at where it's at now, where I think the scene is finally set for a good cast of actors. Or in other terms, I think it's finally time that we got some new fish. This aquarium is a Fluval Roma 90. It's not the most up-to-date model. I think they've done some updates to it because, you know, I have had this tank for 6.5 years and it was only the up-to-date model back then. Now the last time you saw it I did have a Fluval U2 internal filter, but honestly this wasn't really doing much in terms of cleaning muck up from the tank, so since then I have upgraded to a Fluval 207 external filter which, in combination with 25% water changes every week, keeps the water crystal clear. As it turned out, the way that the intake and outflow of the external filter were meant to go around the top of the aquarium wouldn't actually work with the rim that the Fluval Roma's got, so we had to invent a little contraption out of wood, a bit of wire from old wire coat hangers and a couple of pipe clips just to actually use the filter at all. Now this is obviously less than ideal, but it does do the job well. Now another problem that we had with the intake and outflow is that they would not go around the hood of the aquarium, so the usual black plastic lids that Fluval Romas come with, and so we had to get rid of these and in place of them just put a piece of glass over the top. I used to have 2 of the first edition Fluval Aqua Skies lights in this aquarium, but honestly they weren't up to that much, so I kept one of them and then switched the other one out for the 4 Skylight tiny LEDs that I used to have on some of my gecko enclosures. The lights are timed to come on in stages, so the Fluval Aqua Sky is on for a full 12 hours a day. Two of the Skylight Tinies are on for 10 hours of the day, and the other 2 Skylight Tinies are on for 8 hours a day. And these are arranged such that the first and last hours of the day are only having the Fluval Aqua Sky on, then the second and penultimate hours of the day have the Aqua Sky on alongside 2 of the Skylight Tinies, and then the middle 8 hours of the day have all of the lights on together. What this does is it basically simulates a sunrise and sunset effect, so it's sort of like what I do in my Vivaria for my reptiles, although not quite as complex. For a short while I was in the practice of adding salts to this aquarium as fertiliser for the plants, but I stopped doing that once I've got all the fish because they do produce enough waste matter to keep the plants going. All I do for the plants myself now is just add 10 millilitres of Flourish XL daily, which is a liquid carbon supplement as they call it. And what this does is it keeps back the blackbeard and staghorn algae that I would otherwise get, so it therefore allows the plants to outcompete this algae and do really well. Now 10 millilitres every day is actually a massive overdose of Flourish XL, and it does say on the label not to exceed the recommended dose because it can be harmful to aquatic life, but I've just nudged it up slowly over time and honestly I've not had the problem. For hardscape in this aquarium I do just have the same 2 pieces of bogwood that I've always got in it, and I still do have a nice soft sand substrate. The only other bit of hardscape I've got in here really, I don't even know if you could really call it hardscape, but it's just a bit of sweet chestnut and oak leaf litter that I did collect myself last autumn and prepared with the tried and tested boiling method. That's more like it. That sinking? No. Oh well. You can have floating leaves for a bit, doesn't matter. That one's going down. Come on fish, just knock it a bit, it'll fall. Please. Pucker. Bristle nose. Please. Knock the leaf down. Please. That'll sod you then. The final tank specs to mention are that I do have a wave maker in the back of this aquarium, just keeping things circulated through all of the plants, and also the water is kept to a balmy 24 degrees by the heater. Prior to getting all of the new fish, the stocking in this tank consisted of about 12 cardinal tetras, 6 bronze corydoras, a number of platies and 1 bristlenose catfish. And as well as this, I also did have some legacy fish from times gone by, which consisted of 2 rummy-nosed tetras and 1 neon tetra. Now all of the new fish that I got consisted of 3 more bronze corydoras, 9 golden white cloud mountain minnows, 10 Glowlight danios, 11 X-ray tetras, and of course the feature fish for this aquarium, a Siamese fighting fish. When I added the Siamese fighter, otherwise known as Betta, to the aquarium, he immediately started squaring up to some of the platies, and I wasn't sure if things were going to end that well, but after a couple of minutes he seemed to clock on to the fact that the platies weren't fighting back and everything has calmed down. Now all of these fish, as well as 10 goldfish that I got from my ponds outside, I did get from my local reptile shop, Sutton Pets and Exotics, because they do also stock fish. Now you could well argue that I have massively overstocked this relatively small aquarium, but do just remember that I have got a lot of very mature media for it, and that I am removing about 2 litres of plant matter every single week, so there really isn't much waste going round. The only thing I'd really like to change about this tank is that most of the fish hide for most of the day, and I just don't know why. Tsunami, the Siamese fighter, does not really hide very much. And the platies that swim up around the top of the tank don't really hide either. But most of the tetras and the danios and the minnows and even the cories seem to hide a lot, and I just don't know why. So if anybody's got any recommendations to get them to come out more, then, you know, let me know. But all of the fish will come out for one thing, and that one thing is food. So as I sign off from the video now, I am going to feed these fish and just let you watch and see them. So I hope that you did enjoy this video, and if you did, then you will subscribe to the channel, because I've been JTB Reptiles teaching you how to follow nature's example, and I'll see you all in the next one, which probably won't be a fish video again, but whatever. Bye guys!